I'm meteorologist Candace Campos. This is not my first day. This is not our first storm, but we are watching Tropical Storm Isaias, now about 120 miles southeast of the Cape. It's, symmetrical-ish. It's kind of turning into probably one of the most impressive images we've seen in the last couple of days has been throughout the early morning hours till about now. It's making its way very slowly at a crawl towards the north-northwest at about 8 miles per hour. And you can see we are going to keep watching the system make its way towards the north-northwest. Again, very slowly over very warm waters of the Atlantic, the Gulf Stream especially. And they're still expecting it to maintain 65-mile-per-hour winds. That's sustained towards the center of the storm. So even though we have some good news that it has shifted a little bit further towards the east, we are still somewhat under that cone for just immediate Brevard County and immediate coastline of Volusia County as well. Earlier we heard those little dingings. You probably didn't hear it because my microphone wasn't on, but we are under tropical storm alerts, and that has now all shifted just to the coastline. So Seminole County, Orange County, Osceola, you guys were under a tropical storm watch yesterday and the day before. That has all been discontinued. Now the only warnings we have are for folks watching us in Brevard as well as Volusia County, and it's coastal Volusia County, by the way. Inland Volusia County is not an advisory anymore. So there's some good news, and that's all being tweaked because that forecast cone has shifted further towards the east. Just by a couple miles, but we know how a couple miles, what that can mean for impacts across Central Florida. So here, let's talk impacts right now. For Brevard County, you guys are still going to be in the red category, meaning you guys will have the highest threat for impacts, and that's going to be still winds between about 50, 60, maybe 70 mile per hour wind gusts. We are going to dial back those wind gusts a little bit because of the new update to that forecast cone. We're still anticipating some impressive rainfall. 3 to 6 inches could certainly be possible. And when we start talking about squally weather, those feeder bands rolling and just kind of making their way in across the same areas over and over and over again, we could see rainfall rates upwards about 3 to 6 inches. So that's still certainly a possibility. Guaranteed beach erosion, rough surf, high risk of rip currents, all that will be in the forecast today and into tomorrow. This storm is going to take its sweet time rolling up along our coastline, and for that reason we do expect those impacts to kind of linger throughout tonight and into early Monday morning, especially depending where you're at. A little earlier this weekend for our southern Brevard County, more towards the early Monday mornings for our northern zones. So for Seminole, Orange, Osceola County, you guys more are in the moderate impacts. So we're talking about still the potential of picking up a gust here or there that could get you about 30 to 50 miles per hour. Of course, under some of those stronger rain bands that roll in. Tropical downpours, also a possibility. An interesting tidbit, somebody online asked us about how does this storm track compared to like Dorian or Matthew. We've had close calls pretty much every other year, it seems, or actually no, every year, because Matthew was 2018, Dorian was 2019, and Isaias is 2020. So every year we've had a close call. Close call, thank God. You can see here, these are the historical tracks. Right here, right along the coastline is Hurricane Matthew. So it looks like Isaias is kind of following a little bit of that track, but there's one big difference between Matthew and now Isaias, is that Matthew was a major Category 3 or 4 hurricane when it was just passing to our east. So any little wobble could make a big difference to the forecast. That's not so much the case this time around. Isaias is still a tropical storm. It's nothing to, completely let your guard down for, but it is going to be something we're going to keep an eye on, especially as that center kind of makes its way northward. Earlier today, we had hurricane hunters in there, found some nice low minimum central pressure, so that certainly showed that it was intensifying overnight. Let's look at let me show you one more thing, the visible satellite of what's going on. You can start to see, I know it's kind of hard to see on the camera here, but right there across the center of the storm, we're starting to see the clouds starting to billow, meaning that it's starting to get those stronger downpours, as well as it's kind of intensifying right there over the Gulf Stream waters. Gulf Stream waters, by the way, can range between about 85 to 88 degrees. So we're still talking hot waters, which is exactly what a storm wants. That's what it feeds off of, is those warm waters. But you can see it's already kind of making, expanding and kind of blowing out a little bit over southeast Florida. So, of course, this is the latest updates that we have as of now. Again, sustained winds at 65 miles per hour. It's still about 120 miles, 120 miles southeast of the Cape. Some modeling this morning was showing that the eye could make its way over the Cape and just clipping, let's say, like almost the launch pads. But again, as of now, National Hurricane Center showing that it will be staying offshore, and we hope that that certainly is the case. It will certainly kind of churn up our waters, rough up our seas a little bit. It will be a blustery day along our beaches, breezy to gusty across our inland areas, and for you guys in north and west, Marion, Lake Sumter County, you'll have a light breeze in place. You might stay dry throughout most of the day, maybe get caught under a quick kind of rain band that kind of rogues off towards the northwest, but really, again, that is about it. So just make your plans. Of course, stay tuned right here to clickorlando.com. We have our Pinpoint Hurricane app that brings you the very latest anytime we get the new update down. You have your Pinpoint Weather app handy, which is also a great way of looking at the radar as we are starting to watch some of those feeder bands pushing through Central Florida. And of course, right here on News 6, we're going to be doing updates every, half hour now, Troy?
Yes.
Doing half hour updates, and we have a special noon show that we will be doing. Tom will be here, Troy will be here, I'm sticking around, so of course we hope that you join us, and stay safe, and hopefully you enjoy what's left. It's only 11:30. What's left of your Sunday. Bye guys.